everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, September 26th through Sunday, October 2nd, 2016. So this brings us into, pretty soon, another month. And this is significant because remember, September was a 9-month in a 9-year from a numerological standpoint. So September was full of those eclipses. We had that new moon eclipse, the full moon eclipse. We had Mercury retrograde. We also had the last Saturn-Neptune square in September. So it was chock full of a lot of intense energies that really brought us into this place of releasing and letting go of what we no longer needed. It was the ending of a cycle. It was time to close a chapter of our lives with that 9 energy that was really heightened because of the 9 personal month energy of September. So this reading is essentially the last week of September, but moving us into that new beginning of October. And October is going to be a 1 universal month in a 9 universal year. So you'll want to make sure to watch the monthly angel card reading for the month of October to see what this glimpse of this new energy and this rebirth of energies in our lives is going to be all about. So for this weekly angel card reading, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Alyssa Bartha and Patricia Corey. And because we have some energies this week that deal with Libra, we actually have a new moon in Libra this week, I decided for the special message card, depending on your stone of choice, that we were going to use the Romance Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. Now, even though it's called the Romance Angels deck, it's not necessarily just going to bring us messages about relationships, although that is going to be the focus. But for those of you too that are looking for other messages as far as career or finances or home and family, this potentially could bring those messages as well. So we'll just see what comes out of this deck later on. But let's look at your stones of choice really quickly. Your first stone of choice is Strawberry Obsidian. And the strawberry obsidian, it's actually a stone that stimulates the root chakra or the base chakra, which is our chakra of security and stability and our sense of groundedness. This stone also helps with feeling a lack of motivation in your life or in moving forward. So it's going to help to kind of give you that motivation aspect. It also is really good at helping to heal depression, and it inspires courage within you to move forward. Your second stone of choice is rose quartz. And the rose quartz, of course, stimulates the heart chakra, and it helps to bring in energies of peace and calm. It helps us to release heartache and unexpressed emotions in relationships or in other circumstances that we might be going through, and therefore helps us to heal by releasing those emotions. And this is a stone of unconditional love of self, so it really helps us with nurturing and self-love. Your last stone of choice is rhodochrosite. And the rhodochrosite actually is also a stone of the heart chakra. And this helps with selfless love. So giving of your love, selflessly, without need for return. And it's really a good stone for bringing in a sense of compassion. It actually helps to clear the solar plexus and the root chakras as well of painful, old, and repressed emotions. And it encourages a positive attitude. So again, your stones of choice for your special message are the strawberry obsidian, the rose quartz, and the rhodochrosite. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the astrology for this week. Now, we start on Monday, the 26th of September, with the Sun conjuncting Jupiter in Libra. Now, this happens really early Eastern time on Monday. So we're going to feel this Sunday, which is part of the last week's reading as well. But the sun is our light. It's how we shine. And it, of course, is in the sign of Libra right now, which is all about balance and harmony and equality and justice, but it also focuses on relationships. These are all one-on-one relationships, so they can be romantic relationships, business relationships, friendship relationships, family relationships. It's those one-on-one emotional connections that we have with others. Now, Jupiter is a planet of expansion. It's a planet of abundance. It makes things bigger. And it's a planet of blessings. And because the sun is that light that we shine and Jupiter is the planet of blessings, the coming together of these two planets on Monday is actually very, very wonderful. It's a very auspicious time to really expand ourselves in the sense of having the balance within ourselves and having those balance in relationships, and maybe even shining light upon meeting other people, meeting a potential romantic partner, meeting new friends in our lives. And it really brings in, again, that sense of justice for ourselves and within circumstances in our lives. Now, also on Monday, we have Pluto, the planet of transformation and death and rebirth and transmutation. And it is going stationary direct on Monday. So it's been slowing down all of last week. If you felt last week some intense energies building up, either within yourself that were bringing about a huge transformation within, or even a powerful energy that was bubbling to the surface in regards to circumstances and situations last week, that was Pluto slowing down, because now here on Monday, it's turning back to direct motion. And whenever a planet slows down to either go retrograde or go direct, it of course intensifies and heightens the energy of that planet and what it means. Now, because Pluto is a generational planet, meaning it's a very slow-moving planet, generations of people were born under Pluto in a particular sign of the zodiac. So Pluto, because it's so much slower moving than, let's say, Mercury, it's going to intensify those energies for a longer period of time while it's stationary. So again, all of last week and probably for another whole week yet, we're going to feel this intensification of these death and rebirth energies, these powerful transformation energies of Pluto. Now, Pluto is also about power and control. So it can bring up power and control issues with other people or with groups and within situations in our lives. On Tuesday the 27th, Mars, the planet of energy and action, it's considered the warrior planet, it's moving into the sign of Capricorn. And Mars does pretty good in Capricorn because Capricorn is about our goals, our ambitions, our career, our work. And Mars is going to stimulate those areas of our life. So where we're really going to want to put our energy and action towards working on our career, accomplishing certain goals, taking that next step. So to speak, climbing the mountain towards our ambitions, towards what it is that we want to accomplish. And it's going to be in Capricorn for a little while. I didn't write down how long, but for at least 3 weeks, maybe 4. And so it's going to give us that time to really put forth efforts to make things happen now. Then we're going to skip ahead to Friday. Friday is the next time that we really have something significant happening, and that's Friday the 30th of September. This is the last day of September, and it's a new moon at 8 degrees of Libra. So it's not an eclipse energy like those last 3 lunations that we had. We had an eclipse in August, and then we had 2 eclipses in September. This is just a new moon in Libra. Now, it doesn't mean that it's any less significant. New moons are about new beginnings. It's about a new start. And remember that September, being that 9 universal month and a 9 universal year, was really a time of endings. This was, again, that ending of a cycle in our lives. And October, we're moving into this new beginning, at least the start of a new beginning. We're not going to fully see that until we move into 2017. But October gives us a little glimpse of this new beginning energy, this new direction. And isn't this interesting that the new moon in Libra is on the very last day of September? That's ushering us into October. Now again, this is the beginning of a new way of relating to other people because it's the sign of Libra. So there might be, again, new relationships that come in, but at the very least, there's this new sense of balance and harmony within our lives, which is also aspects of the sign of Libra. And then on Saturday, October 1st, we have Venus, which is the planet that actually rules Libra, and Venus is the planet that rules relationships and partnerships, but it also rules money and finances. It is going to be making a positive aspect in Neptune and Pisces. Now, Venus is not in Libra anymore. Venus is now in Scorpio. And Scorpio also is a sign that rules other people's money and other people's resources. And so it could very well be that there's something happening here with finances and money. And because it's a trine to Neptune, a trine is very positive, but Neptune is very elusive. So I feel like there could be some positive things happening, but you might not quite know what they are yet, or they might not come into your into manifestation or into your line of sight quite yet. There's things going on that Neptunian kind of elusive spiritual level. Now, because Venus is also about relationships, Venus trining Neptune here, and especially with it being in Scorpio, can be very passionate in regards to relationships. There might be something dealing with either a relationship you're already in or potentially, again, a new relationship that comes in that really heightens your sense of passion and magnetism here. It could really draw to us some spiritual relationships because of the Neptunian influence, but we also want to be careful not to wear rose-colored glasses, which is also an aspect of Neptune when it's with Venus, that we sometimes don't see things clearly, and we want to romanticize the energy. And there's nothing wrong with romanticizing an energy and being in a romantic, passionate, kind of state. But at the same time, we want to be aware that maybe everything that we're feeling or seeing is not the whole picture. I'm not going to say it's not the truth, but it might not be the whole picture of what's going on in the relationship. So just be aware of that. But it's a very passionate and unconditionally loving and deep spiritual connecting kind of energy that's going on there in relationships. And again, some also energies that may be dealing with some financial things. Okay, so that's a little bit about the astrology. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards and see what the messages from our angels and guides are. So turning over the first card. Okay, wow, we start out very powerfully here with Major Arcana number 21, which is the last Major Arcana in the Tarot deck. And in this deck, the Syrian Starseed Tarot, this is called Ascension. Now in the typical traditional tarot deck, it's called the World card. And you can actually see here in the imagery that this lovely lady is holding a globe, or she's holding the world in her hand. And this is actually a card of completion because it's the last major arcana. This is about the completion of a cycle, so it's really interesting that this comes up in the last week of September as we're moving into this new energy of October. This is telling us that there's certain karmic cycles that have come to completion, karmic patterns that we're now done with, that we've released, that we've healed, that we've let go. Perhaps we're still in the process of doing that, but this is definitely saying that we're in that ending times of this completion process. This is getting us ready to move into a new cycle, because with a death comes a rebirth, and that's not a literal death, but this is symbolic. This is about a symbolic death of the old way, the old karmic patterns, the old trauma energies, old circumstances and situations, and perhaps even relationships in our lives that are on the way out so that a new beginning can take place. And the reason why this card is called Ascension is because we're really evolving as souls here on this planet. And especially because September was that month of completion and this ending of a cycle. This is about a huge evolutionary leap in consciousness and ascension and evolution that we're all taking on this planet. So I love that we started out with this card. I'm going to see, just kind of look at it and see if there's anything else that comes in. I feel like they're saying that there's some of you out there that are really wanting to do something that is much more in alignment with your soul's truth, and something of a humanitarian nature, something of a global nature, something that's going to help the planet. So I also get the message too that it's time to step into that role. It's time to step into that higher role of assisting the planet and humanity. Maybe it's through teaching, maybe it's through healing, maybe it's through helping the environment. It could take a lot of different forms here, but I feel like a lot of us are stepping into more of our spiritual truth with this energy, and really moving forward to really be and do and experience and set forth what it is that we're supposed to be doing here as souls. All right, let's take a look at the second card for the week. Okay, this is really interesting too. This is the Master of Crystals, and this is interesting because if you watch my videos regularly, you'll remember that last week, I believe, this card came up. I think it was the third card that came up last week. It was the same card, the Master of Crystals. This is the same as the King of Earth, or the King of Pentacles. And this card is all about, as I said last week, it's about being the master of your own destiny, okay? And the King of Earth, or the King of Pentacles, is about taking charge. It's about making things happen with your career, your life path, opportunities, business, finances. It's all that earthy, kind of third-dimensional, tangible things where we're taking charge with this. And so again, I want to say, be the master of your own destiny. And I feel like, again, as I said last week, we have a crystal skull here that is has a golden aura around it. So I feel like your crown chakra is being highlighted. I feel like they're saying you're being downloaded with higher dimensional information. And as you're being downloaded with higher dimensional information, it's inspiring you. It's giving you new ideas. It's giving you, again, new things to think about as far as a new direction to go in. So be creative and utilize those potential new ideas that are coming in. In meditation, open up your crown chakra, focus on that crown chakra, and ask to be given inspiration and universal light energies and messages. And with that, we're going to go forth and, again, take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and we're really going to begin to make things happen with this. Let's look at the third card for the week. All right. Okay. All right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, again, last week, I think this card also came up, the Seeker of Crystals. I'm sure that both the Master of Crystals and the Seeker of Crystals came up in last week's reading, but they were, I think, in the reversed order. I think the Seeker of Crystals was the second card, and the Master of Crystals was the third card. So this is the same as the Page of Earth. The Seeker is the page in the traditional tarot deck. And the page cards are always about information as well. It's about messages and information that's coming to us of a practical, earthy nature, because that's what the crystal suit is about. It's the earth, or the pentacles. So this is about us communicating with other people. It's about getting information and messages from other people in conversations or in meetings. To further our business, to further our goals, to further our ambitions, because, again, all of these are the earth or crystals. This is all tangible, practical, down-to-earth things. So I really feel as we're moving into the month of October, it's really time to put some of this new ideas or new energies or new inspirations into action. It's really time to take that information and to even seek out further information. This can also be about taking a class or taking a workshop to gain further knowledge, or it could be about teaching. Those of you that have been thinking about teaching subject matter, this is a sign that it's now time to get out there and share that wisdom with other people. And just like this young woman here, she's looking into that crystal ball. So isn't it funny that the first card, Ascension, we had the woman looking into the earth or holding the earth, And now this card, we also have the woman looking into this crystal ball, kind of seeking that information, seeking that guidance. What are the next steps that you want to take on your path? So very interesting that we have 2 cards this week that came up last week. Now, I did pull a 4th card. I felt like because we have a new moon this week in Libra, I just felt like I wanted to pull a 4th card as we kind of move into that, again, that new month of October, that new beginning energy. So let's see what this card, what additional information this has to say to us. Okay, we have another court card. So this is interesting. This is the Adept of Flames. This is going to be the same as the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Fire in the traditional tarot deck. And the first thing that comes to mind is because we have a court card here with the Master of Crystals and a court card here with the Seeker of Crystals, and now we have another court card with the Adept of Flames. This is indicative of a lot of people, a lot of activity with communicating with other people. So I feel like there's meetings, there's conversations, there's getting together, there's connecting, networking with people of like mind. A lot of things are going to start happening to where we need to start connecting and networking with other people. Now, the Knight of Flames or the Knight of Wands here, as indicated by the Adept of Flames, this is about fast-moving energy. The Knight of Wands usually means that there's something of an urgent nature that is coming in, a situation or circumstance that's urgent, to where we need to make a fast decision or quick movement, but at the same time we want to make sure that we're thinking things through carefully and making the right decision. So it's almost like, it's almost like jump on an opportunity or make a quick decision, but at the same time take enough time to think it through before you make the quick decision, which is kind of interesting here. Now, the other thing I'm drawn to here is that we have this kind of medallion at this man's heart chakra. And we also have a candle with a candle flame here kind of in the background. So first, I want to say that we're opening our heart chakra. I feel like I don't feel like we're even trying. I just feel like because of this evolution and growth, especially with the Ascension card here, where we're taking this big evolutionary leap, I feel like our heart chakras are just naturally starting to open. And with that comes more of a sense of unconditional love, both of ourselves and of others and of the humanity and of the planet itself. So I feel like we're coming more into, again, the truth of our soul, which is unconditional love. And I also get the message that the way will be lit. In other words, this candle flame to me is sort of like lighting the way for us to take the next step. It's shining the light upon where it is we need to go next. Now they're also saying, which is totally unrelated to this message so far, but they're also saying that this could actually bring in a new potential love interest. The Knight of Flames sometimes signifies someone that comes in suddenly and out of the blue. So they're correcting me and saying it could be a romantic interest, but it could also be someone who comes in to assist us in some way on our path, like a business associate or a new friend that's going to help us in some way. So this is somebody that could be potentially coming in to bring us more information or, again, assist us on our path. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else. I feel like I'm drawn to the purple that this man is wearing, if you can take a closer look at that and see that this is a beautiful purple robe. And he's also got that purple robe hood around his head too. So they're saying that we're spiritually protected with our energies. And you might also, though, want to do some sort of protection techniques, they're saying too. So they're saying both that you are spiritually protected by your angels and guides, but also to use spiritual protection and protect your aura, protect your chakras from any outside influences or energies. But that purple is a higher vibrational color, and so again, we're stepping it up and we're moving. It's almost like we're stepping into a new energy suit. They're calling it like an energy suit or a body suit, to where we're stepping into or merging into, might be a better way to say it. We're merging into this new higher vibrational energy. So very, very good reading for this week as we move into a new month. So let's take a look at your special message card, depending on your stone of choice. So for those of you that chose the strawberry obsidian, so let me just tune in here and give this a little bit of a shuffle, and we're calling in the angels and our guides to bring us whatever message we need to know for strawberry obsidian. And this one's calling my attention. Strawberry obsidian, people. Okay, finances and career. And it's interesting because remember, strawberry obsidian stimulates the root chakra, which is about our sense of security and stability, which includes finances. So the message on the bottom of this card says financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So not just a factor in your love life, but I think finances and career are just a focus for you in this week and maybe in the days to come through the month of October. You all are really focusing on where you're going with your life path, your destiny path. Some of you, they're saying, might be considering or are in the process of changing careers. You might be just changing into a new job that's in a similar career path as the one you were in. But a lot of you, I feel like they're saying, is really shifting out of where you were as far as the type of career you were in and shifting into something entirely new. I feel like a lot of you are taking a big shift into something in an entirely new direction. And they want you to know that you're supported with that. You're supported with that. And they're saying that some of you too, although you want to follow your passion, you want to follow your spiritual truth, your spiritual direction, some of you may be worried about finances. And they're saying that you're going to be supported. That, as you're following your passion and your truth, that is actually something that really brings in this wave of spiritual energy to where when you're following that path of truth that you want to be on, that passion that you have in your destiny, your goals, your ambitions, that it really stimulates the energy of support from the universe. And so I feel like your financial needs are going to be met. I feel like everything is going to be fine. So very good for you. All right, let's look at those of you that chose the rose quartz. Rose quartz, people, this one is already calling my attention. Rose quartz. This one says flirt, and at the bottom it says extend your lighthearted energy to others. Now, they're saying this can be in two different areas. One, some of you that are maybe looking for or open to a new romantic relationship, they're saying to lighten up your energies. Be a little flirty, be a little fun, do fun things. Even if you're doing fun things by yourself, that's going to lighten your energy vibration to where you're more open to attracting a new love interest. Because the heavier vibrations when we're in fear or anxiety or when we're down, that really kind of lowers our vibration, and it doesn't allow us to be as magnetic as when we're in this state of happiness and joy and having fun and feeling passionate about life and love itself. So as you lighten your energies, that's going to help to draw in or magnetize that romantic partner that you may be seeking. Now, for those of you that we're not talking about relationship or romantic relationship necessarily, this also is saying that as far as your career goals or as far as your financial goals or as far as the projects that you might be working on, to, again, lighten up your energy, have a little fun. It's not always about work. If you're always working, that's, okay because you're feeling like you're accomplishing something, but sometimes all work and no play kind of depresses the energy, so to speak, or dampens the energy, so that, again, we're not attracting those opportunities that we would like. As we lighten our energies and as we learn to have more fun and we take some downtime for ourselves, we go out with friends and enjoy ourselves, that's going to, again, magnetize in those opportunities or new directions that we're looking for on our life path. All right, and for those of you that chose the rhodochrosite, all right, so let's take a little shuffle here and looking for rhodochrosite, people. All right. This one here is calling my attention. Rhodochrosite says you deserve love, and it says you are lovable on the bottom here. So again, if you're in a romantic relationship or looking for romantic relationship, I feel like we might be dealing with some worthiness issues or some issues from relationships of the past where we weren't appreciated, or we weren't maybe treated very well or recognized for who we were and the love that we were giving. So we're going to have to work through that. They're saying first, you need to work through some of those self-conscious types of issues or self-worthiness types of issues, and know that you are lovable. You are deserving and worthy of love and romance and being given support and recognition and, being given the type of love that you desire. Not everybody desires the same type of relationship, and that's okay. So just because one person maybe expresses their love in one way, but perhaps that's not the way that you need love to be expressed to you, it doesn't make one person wrong and the other person right. It's just about differences. But one thing a phrase that came to me not too long ago was, everyone deserves to be loved the way they want to be loved. And that really sticks with me because, again, we might have different ways of loving people, but if we're not being loved the way that we desire to be loved, then we're not going to be fulfilled and we're not going to be content. And so this is a message to you to really know that you're worthy and deserving of the kind of love and attention that you're seeking. And also for those of you that this might not be a romantically related message, I look at the imagery of this woman here with the bow and arrow, and I feel like this about your goals, your career path, your life path, that your angels and guides are saying, again, that you deserve what you desire, that the universe loves you, and to keep your eyes on your target, to keep your intentions direct and pure towards what it is you want to accomplish, the path you want to be on, and know that you are worthy of receiving from the universe those blessings and those opportunities. So I feel like on this new moon they're saying, send your intentions out to the universe of what it is that you would like to begin to grow or manifest in your life. Okay, I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. If you have, please like it and share it and subscribe to the channel. Comment if you will. I would love to read your comments. I am very grateful and thankful for all of you, for all of the support that you've given me, both on my YouTube channel here as well as on my Facebook pages, which are Colleen, Lemma, and Sacred Soul Empowerment. So sending you all many blessings as we move into this new month, this new energy of October. And until next week, love and light to all.